Hey, Rich, is your mom over at our house again tonight?
What? Of course, she's over here at the house right now. Her and I are in the living room watching TV together.
In other words, she's going to be staying the night again at our place?
What is going on here? Do you have something you're wanting to say about her?
Well, if you want to hear everything, I'd really like it if you told your mom to stop staying the night at our house so often.
Huh? What are you going on about right now?
It's only been a month now since the house was built for us and we got all moved in and comfortable. And the day after we said we were all moved in, your mom came over saying she was only here to have a look at the place. But soon after that, she started to put a lot of her things in the baby room we had made on the second floor and has been using it like her room since.
When we have a baby, we can then start thinking about having her move out of that room.
I get what you're saying, but if we have a baby and your mother is still wanting to stay here, we're not going to have any more room. All I'm asking is that you just have your mother move all of her things back home, and then we won't have to worry about space anymore.
Hey, what are you actually trying to say here? My mom and dad got a divorce from one another, so she's not going back to that house.
Huh? They got divorced?
And that's why in our new house, my mom has started to live with us.
She's actually supposed to be living together here? This is my first time hearing about all of this.
Was there any reason for me to be telling you all of that stuff?
No way. Normally, you should be talking with your wife about those sorts of things right away. I happen to live in this house as well, and it's kind of important for you to be talking to me about someone living here now. And that wasn't a part of the original plan, right? Even if she had a divorce and can no longer go back to that house, you needed to talk with me about her moving in with us before this all happened.
Are you trying to tell me to have my mom leave now?
She doesn't have a place to go now, but once she finds a place of her own, I'd like her to move out.
Jesus, why are you being so cruel towards my mom of all people?
Because I'm the one being treated like I'm not a part of anything over here.
Well, it's because of the way you're acting now that my mom is always feeling as though you hate her. Now that you and I are married, she's like your mom as well. Don't you feel like treating your own mom with a little respect here?
The problem isn't your mother herself, though, but the fact that you had someone who wasn't originally planned for moving into our house without coming to me about it. You should have come to me first so that we could talk about all of this before just selfishly allowing this to happen.
You listen here, my mom living here in this house with us has already been decided on. This is your husband's order. If you go against what I've said, I'm not gonna forgive you.
How mean of you, Arya. I can't believe you're trying to have me kicked out of this house now. So you had a look at the conversation I was just having with your son, huh? Should have known this would happen. Trying to kick a broken-hearted woman like me out of this house now. As for why you guys had that divorce, are you sure it didn't have something to do with all your careless spending? What? There's also been all that talk about all the trouble you've been causing your neighbors and having to use your husband as a way of bailing you out. Why do you know about all of that? Didn't you just learn about our divorce from Rich a second ago? Oh, so I was right about those two things? Huh? I was just listing off a few reasons I assumed you got divorced over, but I guess I should have known those were the reasons why. Since I haven't confirmed that those two are the reasons you lost your husband and were kicked out of his house, I can't agree with you staying in our house. Could you please get started on finding yourself somewhere new to live and move out of our house? Excuse me, there has to be an end to all of your rudeness. Me living here was decided on by the owner and breadwinner of this house, my son. And as his wife, you are supposed to abide by what he says, no matter what it is. When it comes to what happens under the roof of the house, I have the right to voice my opinions. Women, especially wives, do not get a right to do anything like that. This has nothing to do with me being a wife, but being the owner of this house with my name on it and all. What?
Yo, what the hell did you mean by this house being yours and your name being on it? What the hell did you do behind my back? I'm the breadwinner and everything, and it's because of me that you're able to even have a house like this.
Listen to this then, bud. Are you in any position to be letting crap like that fall out of your mouth?
Huh?
Remember when we had to get a loan for the house and you needed to be reviewed before getting one? You didn't happen to meet the criteria for one, and so there was no other option but to have me be reviewed and take out that loan.
What? Huh?
Are you starting to remember it all now?
What? But this house should be under my name.
I was the one buying the house with that loan, and so you said it was okay for me to have my name on it.
I said okay to that?
Anyhow, when I've gotten home from my business trip tomorrow, let's both sit down and have a very serious talk about all of this. Rich, did you get the locks on the house changed without telling me?
Huh? Oh, so you're back home now, are you?
Answer the frickin' question, Rich. Did you go and change all the locks on this house and not tell me about it?
I sure did change all the locks. So if you want to get inside the house now, you're going to have to listen to and do as I say from now on. And you need to stop complaining about my mom living in this house with us.
I told you already, today we're supposed to talk about that on a very serious level. If you allow me to come in so that we can talk all of this through, then there's a chance that your mother can stay here for a bit, all right?
If there was a way for that to happen, then you should have said that from the start. You're wasting my time with all this talking, and I'm over it now.
I just told you if we talked about all this, then we could have an answer. And there are plenty of other outcomes that we could come to as well, which will affect you and the house.
And I'm telling you that all of this would be over with if you just listened to what I said and let my mom live here. Why the hell can't you just do something so goddamn easy for me?
So what you're telling me is that you don't want to talk things over anymore?
I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm saying that there is no reason to.
Is that right? Okay then, Rich. If that's the way you want to behave and handle all of this, then allow me to stoop down to your level and face you head on.
If you think you can do anything to me, then give it a freaking try. Just know that as long as you're not listening to me, you're not coming inside this house anymore. And there's one other thing with all of this. I made sure to put our divorce papers in your parents' mailbox for ya.
Are you kidding me? So you've been preparing for a divorce this whole time, Rich?
In other words, it's my warning to you that if you don't start listening to me soon, we're going to get divorced like my mom and dad did.
I see. So if I head back to my parents' house, I'll be able to get those papers, right? You're fine with me handing them in to the courthouse, right?
If you think you can manage that, then go ahead.
Sounds great.
Go ahead and have a look at those papers in person, and when you do, I'm sure it will help you reflect on what all you've been doing wrong as my wife. Yo, Aria, I just got a call saying that I have to get out of this house or something really soon? Why the hell do I have to leave this house of mine for no good reason at all? And by the way, what the hell is going on with you not talking to me for the past 2 weeks? What the hell have you done?
Long time no see.
Are you trying to kick your own freaking husband out of his very own house right now? That means you're also kicking out your own mother-in-law as well. Are you really okay with sending your family out onto the streets and making them homeless now?
What are you talking about? You and we're nothing but strangers now, and have been for a week or two. Remember those divorce papers you left me? After you told me about that and I returned home to my parents, I took those papers and went to the courthouse.
What? You actually turned all of those into the courthouse?
Wasn't it you, though, that had all of those papers filled out and ready to go and then said okay to me when I asked if it was all right to hand them in?
But wait, that was only if you were able to hand those papers in.
Well, I was able to, and that's why I went ahead and handed them in.
What?
So now that you're aware of what I've done, could you get out of my house? I am not in the mood to let two strangers continue to live in the house that I've been paying off.
No, wait, hold on a second there. Telling me something like that all of a sudden.
All of a sudden? But this all happened close to 2 months ago now.
What?
I'm pretty sure that the both of us had gone and signed that I'd be the owner of the house. And I'm sure that for the past 2 weeks you've been getting called about how you needed to leave my house. But you never picked up, so I had the house phone called, which your own mother ended up answering. And she was told all about what was going to go down. Also, it was my lawyer calling her at the time, and since we both know your mother loves to lie about things a lot, he made sure to have the whole call recorded. With her permission, of course.
Wait, but if you're not going to call my cell phone...
Well, my lawyer did, yet you never picked it up. And when he called your work phone, he learned that you had blocked his number after the first try, so...
Either
way, you need to get out of my house, please. And I mean by the end of this week, you and your mother need to be gone.
Are you serious? Mom, we're gonna have to leave the house now. I need to talk with you about this.
Oh, what happened? Jesus, that wife of yours sure is a mystery to me, you know. Sending letters in the mail telling us to leave the house and calling the house all the time, saying that we both needed to go or else legal actions would be taken.
What?
I'm not going to fall for such threats as those, so I made sure to block that number and throw away all those letters for us. And when another number called saying that they were your wife's lawyer, I told them to screw off before hanging up the phone on them as well.
Yo! So you've been talking with them the whole time?
What?
I did what you told me to do by placing that filled-out divorce paperwork in her parents' mailbox, and she actually ended up going out there and handing it all into the courthouse.
Huh? So you're saying that you're both officially divorced now?
That's right! So in other words, you and I are both strangers to her, and since she's the owner of this house and all, we're both gonna have to leave now, or else we'll be in trouble with the law.
No way. Oh, well, we can't go back to the house I was in before. Where the hell are you and I supposed to go now? Aria! I promise that we'll pay you rent or whatever you want us to do, but just let us live here a little while longer. And who will be the one paying me every month I let you live there? Of course, Rich will be managing all of that for us. So how much would you like us to pay per month to stay? Based on the location and size of the place, I'd want at least $1,600 a month. Sounds good. I'll go and tell that to Rich right now. Rich will have to start paying over half his income to be able to stay in that house, so that might be a bit tough for you both. Huh? More than half of his income? What? Did you not know anything about the salary your son has been getting? Each month, Rich is making around $2,800. Just $2,800 a month? And without the $6,200 I was making each month, he's not going to have a lot left over. You're making that much right now? $6,200? You've been making over $5,000 a month? Anyway, it'll be $1,600 a month, please. If you make him pay you that much, then we're not going to have enough money for anything else. Well, either way you look at it, I'm going to have to continue to pay the loan off on that house, so that's the cheapest I can ask for in order to pay said loan. Are you kidding me? Since you guys can't afford that, I'd like the both of you out of there by the end of this week, please. Aria, I want you out, preferably before that, but this week I'll be nice and give you a few more days. No way. You can't do this to us, though. Where will we even be able to go after this? Right after I had said all of that to Nora, her and her son moved out of my house and were forced to spend a night or two at a fast food restaurant close to my house. It turns out that there was an open apartment close to his office where he could rent it for half the price from the company. And so after taking some time to talk with his boss about it, Nora and Rich both moved into it with all the things they could carry on them. However, after only 3 months of him and his mother living there, the two of them were kicked out and forced to go somewhere else. What happened was that Rich made a move on one of the women in his office trying to get himself a new woman. However, she turned out to be married to one of the managers in a different department. And after he had approached her a third time and she said no, he laid his hands on her waist trying to force her to go out with him, which his manager ended up walking in on, and that's when he lost his job. Everyone in the company learned of what happened very quickly, turning every single one of them against him, and they all went to his apartment and kicked him out the next day. Rich would then be taken to court by the woman and her husband, backed by the company itself, and would have to pay a major settlement to her for workplace sexual harassment charges. He did in fact pay her, but that used up all the money he had saved away and forced him to go into debt in order to do anything else. So as of right now, he and his mother are living in a shack, while he is working part-time for a local gas station that barely sees any traffic. As for Nora herself, she still hasn't shaken her addiction of spending all her money and others' money on whatever she wants, even if it's not needed at all. And anytime Rich would head to work, she'd use his emergency card in order to pay for things online, which has led to her spending every one of her son's checks the moment they hit his account, leaving him with nothing at all to use for rent and the bills, causing them to have fights almost every hour of the day. I'm not sure what's going to happen next to that mother and son duo, but I'm pretty sure that Rich is going to do what he always yelled at me about, and that's kicking out his mother so that he can finally have some money again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.